All right, we're back. It's the Bakersfield Speedway's segment here on the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. We were into the season a couple weeks ago with the the Bud Nationals, and we had the Truck Apocalypse event this last week, and then we've got coming up. We have a special, turkey edition of we'll call it the Turkey Nationals, I guess. Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. It's Thanksgiving Thunder, right?
That's the official name.
Exactly.
Thanksgiving Thunder.
I gotta get it right. Anyway, that's coming up. That's November 28th and 29th. And late models, modified, sport mods, hobby stocks, American stocks, mini stocks, and then Saturday you're going to mix up the shows a little bit too, right? That's the
it's
the plan.
two separate shows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them will run a program on Friday and all of them on Saturday, which I've never done that with this many divisions, so it's going to be interesting. Got a lot of work ahead of us, some good planning to do, but we're going to try it.
It's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be. The only challenge is that you got go get maybe some football on Friday night, but Saturday that should be a great opportunity.
Yeah,
too.
It's been a while since since I've owned the track, have never done anything on Thanksgiving weekend, and get a lot of requests. And this happened to fall in our lap, and they asked us to take over the race, and we did. So it's going to be a good deal.
So looking forward to 5 o'clock start or a little?
Wow, we're looking even earlier. It just all depends. We're doing the preliminary layout of heats and B mains and all that. So I'll have that information up probably by the end of the week.
Gives you something to do on Thanksgiving weekend there, Mr. Griffith. So that's
I'm never at a loss for things to do.
So we had a great event. And this is I think this is David Mayhew racing in Truck Apocalypse. Maybe not. Maybe
that's Joey Annis actually in the 904, and then in the 50 car behind him is Rusty Carlisle that runs a 360 sprint car.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of people kind of showed up for this and competed, and there was a lot of interesting kind of. The diversity of events were pretty amazing.
Yeah, we trucked we probably put in 50, 60 loads of dirt in the infield to create a little track for them, and the racing was fantastic. Yeah. These guys put on a heck of a race.
These all racing their Razors?
These guys, they all got to race together side by side, beat and bang a little bit, and it was some good racing.
They got the Polaris.
And then you had these guys put on a show too, and Tom Mock, I was looking at these photos earlier. He did a great job with these photos. Look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how these guys amaze me because I don't know how you practice for that without killing yourself, 45 times.
What was interesting, and that's Garrett Alf right there, and talking to him before the show, we didn't have a lot of room on the front straightaway for this landing ramp that he needed, but we built what could get him taken care of, and he said it's like jumping off a high dive and trying to land in a thimble full of water is what he was looking at, and it was amazing. He only had 6 feet.
Right.
The guy's pulling off backflips and all that. So these guys are crazy, and they put on a heck of a show, and great guys to work with.
Is that the one thing that you kind of paused to look at?
Yeah,
because you didn't have to do all the scoring duties that you had.
No, because I've had some bad success with motorcycle jumpers before out there with some injuries and stuff. But this guy's professional and did a heck of a job and was out there the whole time I was building the landing ramp for him and told us what he needed. And they did a great job, put on a good show.
Interesting stuff. And then these are the zombie attached to the front of it. This is kind of fun. So, and then this like tug of war type stuff. This was kind of crazy.
This was kind of like a challenge tug of war type deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it turned out to be these diesel trucks doing a tug of war, and it's quite interesting. I've seen pickups do it before, but never diesel trucks.
That was amazing.
Quite interesting.
And then the pickups were doing this.
Yeah.
Why weren't you there, Tamara Harms? Who's one of our sales rep who drives a truck probably 3 times as large as that one does. I would have shown it. There you go. And what's going on here? Is this
This is another race. Yeah. They had 5 or 6 different classes, and this one, it had like eight different vehicles in it, and it was kind of crazy. They were we had some rollovers, we had some crashing into K rails, but they raced hard and put on a great show. And
again, more of the racing, and this one might be Mayhew. Yeah, this is Mayhew right here. So there you go.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have David come out on Thursday night and test the track for us, and we had to make some adjustments to make the jumping in the corner a little bit better, and, they put on a great show.
That's good. That's exciting to hear how that worked out for you guys. And so Truck Apocalypse, and then we have a little bit of a break now for you guys, and then you go into get ready for the Thanksgiving Thunder, and then you can plant wheat, or maybe not.
Yeah, well, I probably won't because it'll be California, I've been having a lot of rain lately, so I need rain to plant wheat and kind of change my plans. I'll be going to Vegas now for the Duel in the Desert for that race, so probably won't do the wheat now.
All right.
But maybe we'll probably still haul in some new clay, though, to do that. And my biggest step now is fix the infield. It's all tore up from this truck jumping deal.
Jeez.
Well, what about the front, where the apocalypse was and all the zombies?
I can confidently say it's cleaned up. I have to thank John Flippin, my main man. I called him, and he showed up after work yesterday, and Wayne Dotson left me a forklift, and it's all sitting out in the front parking lot. People driving by probably think, what the heck's going on out there? But my grass is clean, and I turned the sprinklers back on because that was driving me nuts.
Jeez. All right, let me ask you this. We gave you some homework last week to think about a few things for us, and the biggest one was the 5 things you major things that happened at the track this year. And let's start off with, and Griffith, you can obviously add into this as well, but I have kind of some things I thought were kind of interesting. But what were the things that thinking back from the start of the season to the end of the season that really stood out in your mind as important things that happened at the track this year?
Well, my number 5 one would have to be Tina McGowan's win at the Bud Nationals.
Yeah.
Tina, great supporter of the track, her family, she's just a great racer. Has always supported me, and to win the big one, the Bud Nationals, I thought was a great thing for the track and for her.
Right. I mean, that was a big one too. I mean, that was one of the highlights of the whole. I mean, the crowd had to be just thrilled with that development, right?
It was, and actually, she was at the track this weekend for that event, and we talked about it for just a little bit,
right.
And even this week on Instagram, she had a picture of her check on there, and it's just cool. It's really, I get satisfaction out of seeing the racers that are that happy to win that event and the prestige out of it, and couldn't be happier for her. I mean, she's getting ready to get married to Brad, and Brad's got huge success, and she wins now and then, but to cap it off with that event this season, I mean, that's really saying
and really,
something.
I mean, and then going to be able to go to Boone too as well. I mean,
she did a great job in Boone this year, so she's had a great year, and she still got Vegas. She's going to Vegas in November, so you never know. Her season's not over yet, so she may pull off a couple of good things.
They will form the Pounds McGowan power couple too, by the way.
It's going to be tough to beat, I tell you what.
All right, number 4.
Number 4 would have to be an event. I think it's my 4th annual Racing for Wishes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they brought that to us, and we had our chance to raise money out there and give it to a good charity, and it was a good time. And Cody Laney, another young kid, racing a modified, won that race. And Cody comes from a great racing family, the Laneys and the Bartels that support our facility real well. And to see Laney beat Brad Pounds and Kyle Heckman and those heavy hitters and walk away with that $1,000 check was a great night.
Yeah. All right, number 3.
Number 3 is going to have to be another event, obviously. Would be my first annual Racing for Ronald.
Right. That was huge. That was
you know
amazing,
what? Yeah, I gotta have a shout out to the Hill family, Sadie and Mike. They've done so much for that event and sponsoring the racetrack with their company. And when they brought that to us, it was kind of something we haven't done, a little different deal. And the effort they put out was outstanding with the down in the park, the different things for the kids, and the money they went out and raised in the community, and then brought it all together that night. And man, huge event.
All right, number 2.
Still another event, the Richie McGowan Memorial on our fireworks show. Obviously, Richie's huge in the racing community and Bakersfield, and I'm just honored that the family lets me do that race each year.
Right.
And it was another great year. Jimmy Irwin won the Hobby Stock 32, was able to give the trophy to Tina, present it to her. So just another great night of racing. Obviously it's our fireworks show, but those people are out there to honor Richie and what he's done at our racetrack.
I got a feling I might know number 1, but let's go to number 1.
The Bud Nationals.
Bud Nationals,
obviously.
yeah,
I mean, what a way to cap off our year. A long season and to finish with that and the momentum that race is generating and all that. So I'm excited.
Okay, I like to look at like how things perform and like what kind of numbers you have and everything. I mean, I know exactly where you sit. I could just imagine you looking to your left and kind of peeking out at the crowd and seeing how that crowd comes in. Were you doing that a lot that night?
You know, not really, because
You had confidence that they were.
yeah,
gonna
I
do
know
it.
what that event does.
Right.
You know, it's just one of those. That event creates its own excitement.
Yeah.
People know about it. Racers from all over are already talking about
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, they're already sending me emails about reserving parking stalls for next year for that race.
Right.
And they just want to be a part of it, whether they win or lose or whatever. They just want to be at the Bakersfield Speedway and be a part of that race. So that's a huge deal.
I think there's something interesting. I was thinking about this yesterday. I saw a thing of Wrigley Field as an example, and I have not been to Wrigley Field as a spectator, but I've walked around it, and the excitement of going into that facility, knowing its history and its age. I got to think for motorsports fans that, Bakersfield Speedway is kind of like that. It's small, it's quaint, it's got its quirks to it, and it's intimate, most importantly, and it's a real nice setting. And I got to feel that people, when they come to the Bud Nationals, they think about that place. This is homey. This is fun. There's a great crowd.
Well, I got a huge compliment from the Xand guys that travel all over racetracks,
Right.
filming races that they do. And the first night that he got there, and we were sitting up in the grandstands doing all the logistics stuff, and he was just impressed. He goes, "This is just like a nice, homey, great little groomed little facility," and
Yeah.
that meant a lot to me just for the fact of the racetracks that he attends.
Right.
And we just finished the 69th season, so next year will be 70 years. We're the longest continually running racing facility on the West Coast. So, we take pride in that, and that we can keep it going and offer, good, affordable family fun out there.
That sounds like a special project, Mr. Griffith.
We did one at 50 years
We should do another one.
and 70 years. There's been a lot of top-notch racers
Yeah.
stroll through Bakersfield Speedway.
And and when USAC came this year, their first visit, the USAC statistic guy put up a list of the names of people that have won races in USAC midgets, and it was astounding to see some of the names that are now in NASCAR or have
Right.
gone on that have won USAC midget races at the
Interesting.
Speedway. It was really cool.
All right, good stuff. Griffith, give me your final thought on the thing that stood out from you the most from Bakersfield Speedway from this last year.
Oh, probably just the Bud Nationals. It normally is. I'm just amazed at how smooth it goes off. I mean, you're going to have your hiccups all year long. Some races just turn into demolition derbies at times, and that's part of racing. You know,
Right.
the different divisions and certain nights, it's just things happen. But the Bud Nationals, Saturday night, Friday night, strong racing. Really, really fun to watch.
Well, great stuff. So we won't see you next week. This is next week's our last show of the season. So again, thanks for everything from Bakersfield
appreciate it.
Speedway. We appreciate everything Scott Schweitzer's done for us. Look forward to a huge 2015 year, and we get started again in March, right?
Yeah, we start with our banquets, our registration days, practice days in February. So we're looking for the first weekend of March to be our season opener. So
Awesome.
We'll be ready to go.
All right, coming up next, Auto Club Famoso Raceway. Blake Bowser will talk about his season and what's coming up for them in the next few weeks. Not a lot going on. They're pretty much done too. But they do have some things coming up with Pomona and with their ET finals. And we'll talk about how their team looks and some of the things that they had in the season. We'll also catch up with how Jason Barta did in NE1 at the California Hot Rod Reunion. All that coming up next here on the Baco Motorsports Power Hour.